And the camera, I don't think I'm going to have to adjust for once. Finally getting this figured out. So good morning, everybody. Beth Combs here with Bethy Combs Wellness and Canyon Community Yoga. Welcome to our Tuesday morning yoga class. I like to think of our class as an all levels class, great for anyone who just wants to get some yoga practice in before they start their day. And today we are going to focus on the third chakra, which is kind of in our abdominal area. So between our sacral chakra and our heart chakra is up here. So this abdomen is where our third chakra is located. And so I went ahead and just pulled the card specifically for the third chakra. And I just want to show that real quick. Might be a little hard to see, but the Manipura chakra is the third chakra. So I like to tell people our root chakra is at the base of our tailbone. Sacral chakra is in our pelvic bowl. And then we have our third chakra, the Manipura, the solar plexus chakra. You have come to a place where you know exactly who you are. Gone are the days of confusion and blurred lines between your truth and the expectations of others. You have grounded into your essence and built the foundation of your empowered self. You have had to let go of many friendships and relationships that were no longer serving you to get where you are, and it was all worth it. Now is your time to really go after what you want in life. What do you care about? What lights you up? How do you want to serve? Meditate on these questions and take action on what comes up. So just something to consider as we're going to be focusing on the third chakra, our Manipura chakra today. So I like to tell people, once you've dreamed up what you want in your pelvic bowl, the third chakra gives us the power and the energy to actually take action and make it happen in our lives. So it's important. Some people don't like doing abdominal strengthening, but it's really critical from a spiritual perspective in that regard, supporting our dreams, but also just a physical perspective of actually giving us the strength to support our whole body. Our core really affects everything in the rest of our bodies, how we carry ourselves. If you've got low back issues, it's usually related to whether your core is strong or not. And I know for me, I joined a new yoga class starting last week, and we did a lot of core work, and I just had forgotten that I had not been focusing on that area. I was actually sore for a few days, but feeling better now, feeling much stronger and ready to take on the day and to take on my life. So we'll go ahead and get started over on our mats in our seated cross-legged position, as we always do. And I like to sit up on a bolster, a blanket, a pillow. Oh, I just figured out where my phone is. Let me get this turned off real quick. There we go. Mostly because I have tight hips. So if you also deal with tight hips, then it might be a good idea for you to get something to sit up on so that you're a little bit more comfortable. You want to try to get your knees below where your hip bones are at. So we'll sit with our legs crossed at the ankles, sitting up nice and tall, lengthening up the spine, out the crown of the head. The chin is parallel with the earth. Feel free to close your eyes here if you'd like. And we'll start out just by taking 3 rounds of breath where we're going to inhale through the nose and we're going to exhale out the mouth, sighing as loud as you need to release any tension from last night or yesterday. Take an inhale. Exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. One last time. Inhale. Exhale. If you're feeling particularly anxious, I actually invite you to continue exhaling out your mouth. Otherwise, you can close your mouth and begin with the traditional yoga breathing of inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Be sure to relax your jaw. Allow your tongue to soften inside your mouth, so not pressing up to the roof of your mouth, but actually just kind of resting. See if you can get that breath to go all the way down to your tailbone and come all the way out to the top of your head. We'll add a little bit of movement here. So we're going to take our right hand down next to our right hip. We'll sweep the left arm up alongside the left ear, and then we'll fold over to the right. Maybe gaze up under the left arm if your neck will allow it. We'll inhale, we'll come back to center, we'll switch sides. Left hand goes down next to the left hip. Right arm comes up alongside the ear. Gaze up under the right arm. We'll inhale, we'll come back to center. We're going to fold over our bent legs and rock from side to side here. Then we'll inhale, we'll come back up, and we're going to change the cross of the legs. And then we're going to take a twist here. So we'll inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, place that left hand on the right knee. As you inhale, get a little taller. As you exhale, see if you can rotate a little bit more from the abdominals. So don't use your hand to yank yourself over. You're going to actually use your strength in your abs to pull yourself over. And once you've gone as far as you can gaze over that right shoulder. Then we'll inhale, we'll come back to center, we'll switch sides. Right hand on the left knee. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, rotate over to the left. So again, with each inhale, get a little taller. With each exhale, rotate a little bit more. Gaze over the left shoulder. We'll inhale, we'll come back to center. We'll fold over our legs one more time. Then we'll inhale, we'll come back up to center. And then we'll go ahead and we'll come onto our hands and knees in our tabletop position. We're going to move our bolster out of the way. We want to line our wrists up under our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. And we're going to set up for our cat-cow. Make sure the fingers are spread nice and wide so you've got a good base in your hands and the tops of your feet are on the mat. And we'll inhale, lift the forehead and the tailbone up. Exhale, pull the belly button back towards the spine, round the back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Then take two more following your own breath at your own pace. And then we'll meet back in the center, and then we'll set up for, some people call it bird dog. We're just going to do alternate arm and leg. So we're going to start off with our right fingertips out in front of us. Our left toes are going to go back behind us. We're going to inhale the right arm up alongside the right ear. And on your next exhale, begin to lift the left foot up off the mat. Maybe it only comes up an inch. Maybe it comes all the way up to hip height. Just see where you're at in your body this morning. Make sure you're reaching through the right fingertips, pressing through the left heel. A couple more breaths here. Then we'll exhale, we'll lower everything down. And then we'll switch sides. So the left fingertips out in front, right toes back behind us. We'll inhale, lift the left arm up alongside the left ear. And on the next exhale, lift the right foot. Maybe it's an inch. Maybe it's all the way up to hip height. Pressing through the right heel, reaching through the left fingertips. We'll exhale, lower everything down. And then we'll do each side one more time. So we're going to bring the right fingertips out in front, bring the left toes back behind us. We'll inhale the right arm up. Exhale, lift the left foot up. Remember to breathe here. Pull that belly button in towards the spine if you're feeling kind of wobbly. Exhale, lower everything back down. Then we'll switch sides. So left fingertips out in front, right toes back behind us. We'll inhale, lift the left arm. Exhale, lift the right leg. Reaching in opposite directions with the left hand and the right foot. Pulling that belly button in towards the spine. We'll exhale, we'll lower everything down. And then we're going to do some hip circles just to kind of loosen up the abdominal area. So we'll drop the seat towards the heels, kind of like you're drawing an oval on your mat with your abdominals. Go at your own pace and switch directions. And we'll come back to center, and then we'll take a child's pose. So we're going to keep the big toes touching, bring the big toes to touch, widen the knees the width of the mat, lower the torso down, extend the arms out in front of you. If you've got a block, you can place it under your forehead or just place your forehead on the mat or toward the mat while reaching the tailbone towards the heels. So one thing to keep in mind while we're dealing with our third chakra, the Manipura chakra, sometimes we want to force things in our lives because we think we want them, but it's not actually what we need. And so that's why I like to start people off grounding into the root chakra and then coming into the second chakra to really tap into and better understand what they truly need, what their deepest desires actually are, and then manifesting those by working on the energy and the strength in the third chakra. I know for me, when I try to force things, they're really hard, they're really challenging, they're really difficult. When I'm in alignment with what needs to happen in my life, however, I find that things are much more easeful. That doesn't mean I don't work hard or stay focused, but things just seem to happen more easily. There's not as much forcing and pushing. So just see if you can notice that in your own life. Where are the places that you need energy to fulfill your own dreams, and where are you fighting against the grain of the universe, trying to make something happen that maybe someone else wants for you or is not in alignment with who you actually are? All right, so we're going to come up off our bolster, or sorry, up off our child's pose. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to come down onto our abdominals. So we want to place the elbows underneath our shoulders. We're going to clasp the hands and we're going to lower our torso and our knees down onto the mat. Tops of the feet are on the mat. And you want to go ahead and flip the toes so that they're more active. And we'll start out with our forearm plank with the knees still on the mat. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to lift the torso up off the mat, pulling the belly button in towards the spine. Knees are still on the mat, pressing up through our hands and our forearms and our elbows. And we'll exhale, we'll lower down, lowering the right ear to the mat. Maybe rock the hips from side to side. And then we'll take it again. So we'll bring the hands back together to clasp. Elbows are lined up under our shoulders. Flip the toes. Lift the hips up towards the mat. So pressing into the forearms, pulling that belly button towards the spine. Remember to breathe here. Then we'll exhale, lower everything down on the mat. Switch which cheek is on the mat. Again, feel free to rock the hips from side to side. Then we'll come back up for one more. We're going to clasp the hands. Elbows are lined up under the shoulders. Flip the toes. And this time, we're going to lift the hips up off the mat. If you want the full expression, you can also lift the knees up off the mat. Take 5 breaths here. So make sure that you're in a straight line from the top of your head all the way through your tailbone. So you don't want your butt way up in the air here. Exhale, lower everything down. We'll take a Sphinx pose here so the elbows are lined up under the shoulders. Hands are extended out in front of us, fingertips pointing away from us. And we're going to lift our chest up, head reaching toward the ceiling. And then we're going to push ourselves up to our tabletop position. And we'll go ahead and take a downward facing dog here. So our wrists are underneath our shoulders. So we're going to walk them one palm's distance in front of us. We'll flip the toes and then pull the hips up and back towards the ceiling, pedaling the feet out here. Making sure the weight is even between our hands and our feet. Squeezing the upper arms in towards the ears. Most of the weight in our hands needs to be between our thumb and our index finger. That actually helps to protect our wrist. And then we'll go ahead and we'll lower the knees back down. And we're going to go ahead and flip over onto our backs. We're going to bring our legs up to a tabletop position. Arms are extended out by the sides, palms facing down. And we're just going to do single leg dips here. So we'll drop the right leg with the right toe tapping on the mat and then come back up. Inhale as you lower the leg, exhale as you pull it back up. Three more here for each side. Then we'll really press our palms into the mat. We're going to do both legs at the same time now. So we'll inhale, lower down, exhale to come back up. We've got 7 more here. And then we'll lower the feet down. We'll spread the feet about hip distance apart. If you have a block, go ahead and grab it. And you can place it in between your thighs. Your heels are lined up underneath your knees. Arms are outstretched and down alongside your body. We're going to squeeze the block and we're going to inhale and lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale to come up. Exhale to come down. Got 3 more here. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Make sure you lift your toes up just to make sure you're really rooting into your heels for this last one here. Inhale up. And exhale down. You can remove the block out of the way. Go ahead and bring your knees into your chest and kind of rock from side to side. Give your low back a little love. And then go ahead and roll over to your right side. Bring yourself back up to your tabletop position. And we're going to bring the right foot in between the hands at the top of the mat. If you've got a block, go ahead and grab it. Place it on the inside of your right foot. Otherwise, you can just leave your hand on the inside of your right foot. We're going to take a couple different twist variations here. So we'll go ahead and place the right hand on the right hip, and then we're going to twist our torso to the right. So twists are excellent for supporting our digestive system. It's really great for wringing out toxins. So I like to do them on a regular basis to just kind of help my body along. So you can leave your hand on your right hip, or you can extend the right hand towards the ceiling. We'll exhale, lower the right hand outside of the right foot. You can move the block out of the way. We'll take a little hamstring stretch here. So we'll move the hips back, Lift the right toes up towards the ceiling, fold over that right leg, any amount. So if you're way up here, that's perfectly fine. You're still getting a hamstring stretch. Just make sure you're not knocking your hips over to the left. You want to really kind of make sure your left knee is tracking right underneath your left hip. And then we'll lower that right foot down. We'll bring it back to tabletop position. And then we're going to switch sides. So the left foot comes up in between the hands. Again, if you've got the block, go ahead and place that in between or next to your left foot, the inside of your left foot. We've got our right hand up on the block or just right on the mat. Place your left hand on your left hip. And then we're going to rotate over to the left. If you'd like, you can bring your left arm up towards the ceiling. Then we'll lower that left hand back down. And then we'll shift the hips back for the hamstring stretch on the left side. Make sure the right knee is tracking underneath the right hip. Then we'll lower that knee back down. And we'll go ahead and come to a seated position. We'll take a butterfly stretch here real quick, and then we'll lay back for our Shavasana for a couple moments. So we'll inhale nice and tall, sit up, and then exhale, fold over the the feet as close as you can. So maybe you're right here and you're already feeling tension in your hips or your legs, and that's okay. Otherwise, you can fold forward a little more. You could feel free to give yourself a foot massage or extend the arms out in front of you. Then we'll come back up to center, and then we'll bring ourselves down to a comfortable position on our backs. So lying down on our backs. If your low back is really tight, you can actually place your feet the width of your mat and lean your knees in toward one another. Let's go ahead and actually place our hands on our abdominals. If you're not having low back issues, then you can extend your feet out in front of you like you normally would, allowing the feet to splay open. You can also place a bolster underneath your knees. If you need a little bit more support or you've got low back tension, this is another way to get that to release a little bit more. So just allowing the hands to rest on your abdominals, showing gratitude to your body for the practice you've been able to take this morning. See if you can just observe the breath. Focus your attention in this area where your hands are located. And if you notice that you get distracted, just observe that that's happening and then bring your attention back to where your hands are. So when you're ready to come out of the pose, first off, be sure to stay here as long as you need to until your practice feels complete. When you're ready to come out of the pose, go ahead and roll over to your right side. Use your left hand to push yourself back up and then come to a comfortable seated position. You can bring your hands together at heart center. I hope that this practice has helped you to tap into your strength, your own inner strength, your own energy, and given you what you need to use that strength and energy to create the life that you want. The compassion, the love, and the light in me honors the compassion, the love, and the light in you. Thank you for practicing with me this morning. Namaste. So I hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye for now.